How's everybody doing today? This is my video response for Unit 4 PE 582, application of strengths in teaching or coaching. I'm going to be doing the strengths in coaching. In the article we read, there was 5 principles. The first principle, assessing your strengths and weaknesses, or assessing the strengths of your athletes or measuring them. As a coach, every preseason, off-season, summer that we do together as a team or individual, if I'm out just watching games of players of mine, I'm always assessing their abilities, always charting, always writing down information that better helps me tailor my practices and make it a better experience for the player. Always knowing how the player is improving, how they get better. Every year before we start the season in baseball in the spring, before we wrap up the winter or the fall season and we move into winter, I have sit-down meetings with my players and kind of see where they are at, where I'm at with them, and show them what I have. And we talk everything from batting averages to on-base percentages, fielding errors. I pick out the strengths. I don't harp on the negatives. But I always bring that to their attention, and then say, give them a plan to build off those strengths so they can build their weaknesses strong like their strengths. Anyways, so in that conversation we talk about roles, where I see them at in the team's role, and how we all, you get 40 guys to come together as one, and not everybody's going to play in the game of baseball. You only have about 9 guys that play the game at one time. You got different situations for different guys. So evaluating them and their strengths, and somebody might be the best base runner, and that's his strength. So using all that stuff, all the assessing of my players is beneficial for not only for the athlete but also for the coach and the team. Principle 2 is personalizing that. Again, using what I use or what I do, I personalize their strengths. Typically, what I do is when we have individual defenses, I work with the outfielders, and so they get to choose one day a week their favorite drill that they want to do. It's usually a stronger drill they like to do, something easy and something fun. It's competitive. Every drill that I have is competitive. There's points for everything. There's a winner and a loser. And so using their strengths to help identify other team members' weaknesses, make the other team members stronger. So just because one guy chooses one drill one week, and the next guy chooses another drill, so you're constantly personalizing that to them to fit, keep them engaged, make them a part of the practice plan as well, and working on their goals at the same time. Really, I kind of just do this naturally. I don't, reading this was kind of interesting because some of this stuff I did naturally. I learned some stuff as well, but it's kind of funny to read this now and say, man, I've been doing that. So it was really good to read something like that and to actually read it and put it into words, and kind of now going forward, I know how to apply the strengths in teaching and coaching. Number 3 was collaboration. It's funny because, you look at collaboration or networking with, personal supporters and all that stuff. If you talk about, networking outside their area or networking inside on the team, something I do in the team and networking, every player likes to warm up with the same player every day. You see it. Outfielders warm up with the same outfielders. I mean, we have daily routines that they do, but typically I like to switch that up and make everybody play catch. One day you play catch with that guy, and next day you play catch with that guy. Everybody sees everybody, gets to know them, and they also identify some strengths and weaknesses for them as well, for those players. I know in the book it says high levels of support are associated with the ability of depth of using personal strength. So the more that they get to know each other, relating to their strengths, the more confidence they have in their teammates. So if you're stuck in doing the same guys throwing catch every day, you're not really getting outside and getting to know other players on your team and not really knowing their strengths. Principle 4 is the deliberate application of the strengths. Bringing out the best of them. Let them know that, doing like principle number 3, or when you're doing those warm-ups together, you have these team competitions, and I don't just put all the good players on one team when we do scrimmages. I kind of spread it out. So, the weaker players have to step up to the better players, and the better players have to pick up the weaker players to get them on their level. So usually as a weaker player, you tend to perform better because you're on a better team, or guys are pushing you to be better. And at the same time, it's creating this team cohesion that, hey, we can all play together, and we all know, each other's role, and we all know who's strong, who's the best bunter, who's the fastest runner, who's got the best arm, who's got the best stick, who can hit the 2-out knock to give us the go-ahead run in the bottom of the ninth. Those types of that comes out in those drills. So understanding and learning from each other, we all have a sense of team when you learn each other's strengths and weaknesses, but mainly the strengths. So we all know who can do what, and we know who we can call on. The last one is just really making them realize their strengths and how they can be used. It's intentional development, meaning that I'm gonna push you hard in your strengths, because if the stronger you get in one strength, it's going to bring along your weaknesses at the same time. So that goes back to all the other principles that we talked about. Just keeping the same thing going, positive, and then building on those strengths. Because if you're weak in one area, if you keep working strong in another, those weaknesses eventually come online with the other ones, because you're just continuing to address that, and it just gets better and better as time goes on. So really focusing on their strengths makes it huge, not only for individual but for the team aspect of things too. So that's my post. What do you guys think? I hope I kind of nailed it down. I may be way off here, maybe way to the left or way to the right. I'm curious to see your guys' response and see how I address this week. So anyways, looking forward to your responses. Have a great day.